Mohammed Hassan froze in front of the security monitor, unable to breathe properly as the footage replayed itself again and again. The morning sunlight entered through the curtains, but the light felt cold, almost fake, as though the house itself refused to accept daytime. Every room around him was silent. No laughter. No footsteps from his family. No sound except the soft electrical buzzing from the camera system. On the screen, Mohammed watched himself walking slowly through the hallway during the night. His movements looked unnatural, too smooth, too empty. His head tilted slightly downward while his arms hung beside him without motion, almost like a puppet being dragged through invisible strings. Mohammed stared harder at the screen, trying to remember any part of the night after waking up at 3 a.m. Nothing. His chest tightened. "I didn't do this," he whispered. The footage suddenly glitched. Static swallowed the image for a split second before another figure appeared behind him. Tall, dark, distorted. It looked human, but its proportions bent in impossible ways, like reality itself could not fully contain it. Its arms looked too long. Its shadow stretched across the walls, even though there was no light behind it. Worst of all, its face could not stay still. Every frame changed it slightly, as if the camera itself was struggling to understand what it was seeing. Mohammed stumbled backwards from the monitor. No! The image vanished. The footage returned to normal. But Mohammed could still feel the figure watching him through the screen. His breathing became faster as he turned away from the monitor and looked around the empty living room. Chairs were overturned. A broken glass rested near the kitchen doorway. The front door was slightly open, allowing cold air to drift into the house. "Mama?" he called weakly. No answer. "Baba?" Only silence. The silence felt wrong. Not peaceful. Listening. Mohammed grabbed the edge of the table to steady himself. His mind replayed everything from the dreams. The robber's house, the monster experiments, the endless looping rooms, the voices whispering, "Wake up, wake up, wake up," the impossible 5D dimensions folding over themselves like living thoughts. He remembered fighting Nyx, the ruler of corrupted dreams. He remembered destroying the nightmare. But now doubt crawled into his mind. What if the dream never ended? A noise echoed upstairs. Creak. Mohammed's head snapped upward. Another creak followed, slow and deliberate. Footsteps. Not rushed. Not hiding. Walking. The sound crossed the upstairs hallway directly above him. Mohammed backed away slowly, every muscle trembling. "This isn't real," he whispered to himself. "This is another layer. Another dream." Then the television switched on by itself. The loud burst of static nearly made him jump out of his skin. Black and white noise filled the screen. Then words slowly appeared across the static. "You brought something back." Mohammed stared in horror. No. The message vanished. The television changed to live camera footage from his bedroom. His blood froze. The screen showed Mohammed asleep in bed only a few hours earlier. But he was not alone. Standing beside the bed was the dark figure from the hallway footage. Watching him, not moving. The figure slowly leaned closer toward sleeping Mohammed, while the camera image distorted violently around it. Then the figure turned its head directly toward the camera. Toward him. The screen exploded into static. All the lights in the house flickered at once. On, off, on, off. Darkness swallowed the room for half seconds at a time, each blackout feeling longer than the last. During one flicker, Mohammed thought he saw someone standing in the kitchen doorway. When the lights returned, nothing was there. He stumbled backward. This isn't happening. A low laugh echoed from upstairs. Not loud. Not human. It sounded layered, like many voices speaking together from underwater. Mohammed's fear turned into panic. He rushed toward the front door, grabbed the handle, and pulled. Locked. His eyes widened. No, no, no. He unlocked it and yanked again. The door opened only slightly before slamming shut by itself with impossible force. The entire house shook. Then the whisper came again. "You wanted reality." Mohammed spun around. Nobody stood behind him, but the whisper continued from every direction at once. "You escaped the dreaming, but dreams leave fingerprints." The walls creaked. The lights dimmed until the entire house became gray and colorless. Black and white shadows stretched unnaturally across the ceiling. Mohammed's heartbeat thundered in his ears. "What are you?" he shouted. The television turned on again, instantly. This time, the screen showed the security footage from only seconds ago. Mohammed watched himself standing frozen in the living room. But behind camera, Mohammed stood the dark figure. Closer now, its head tilted unnaturally. Then, on the screen only, the figure raised one long arm and pointed upward, toward the second floor. A loud thud shook the ceiling above him. Mohammed nearly screamed. Another thud followed. Something heavy was moving upstairs. Then came dragging sounds, slow, deliberate. Mohammed's legs weakened, but he forced himself toward the staircase. Every instinct screamed at him to run outside, but another feeling pulled him upward, the desperate need to know what was real. Step by step, he climbed. The air upstairs felt colder. The hallway lights flickered weakly. Family photographs lined the walls, but every face inside them had become blurred beyond recognition. Mohammed stared at one picture of himself as a child. His face was completely blacked out. Another whisper crawled through the hallway. "Who are you really?" The bedroom door at the end of the hall slowly creaked open. Inside the room was darkness. Complete darkness. But Mohammed could hear breathing from within. Slow breathing. Waiting. He reached for the light switch beside the door. Click! Nothing. The breathing stopped. Silence. Then two pale eyes opened deep inside the darkness. Mohammed froze completely. The eyes blinked once. Then the dark figure stepped forward. Its body bent incorrectly, moving with impossible angles like broken frames from a corrupted video. Its face shifted constantly between different expressions, smiling, screaming, empty, crying, never staying the same for more than a second. Mohammed stepped backward. "You're dead," he whispered. "I destroyed you." The figure tilted its head. "You destroyed fear," it replied softly, "not me." Its voice sounded exactly like Mohammed's own voice. The hallway suddenly stretched longer behind him. The walls warped outward. Reality bent again into impossible geometry. The figure smiled wider. "You still think you woke up?" The floor beneath Mohammed cracked open into darkness. He fell instantly. Around him flashed fragments of every dream he had ever seen. The robber's laboratory, the monster child, the looping doors, Nyx, the hide-and-seek countdown, the glowing 5D dimensions, his family smiling at dinner, the red 3 a.m. clock, the whispering shadows. All connected, all unfinished. Then, through the endless void, Mohammed heard the same words repeating over and over. "Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!" But this time, another voice answered from somewhere deeper. "No." Mohammed opened his eyes suddenly. He was back in bed. The digital clock beside him read 2:59 a.m. His room was silent, normal, safe. Mohammed breathed heavily and looked around in terror. Then, slowly, from the darkness near his bedroom door, came the sound of soft breathing. Not his breathing, someone else's, and a familiar voice whispered gently, "Round 2."